Hello, McFluffy62 here, back with some more Phyrexia All Will Be One action, and today I have another kind of janky deck for you because we're trying to play Slobad the Iron Goblin. Now, Slobad, also known as So Bad, no I'm joking, is a 3 mana 3/3 legendary Phyrexian Goblin Artificer, and you can tap it to sacrifice an artifact and add an amount of red mana equal to the sacrifice artifact's mana value, but you can only spend this mana to cast artifact spells or activate abilities of artifacts. So this makes it very limiting what we can do with Slobad, but the goal here is I have a little bit of a jank brew. We're hoping just to ramp into some really big artifacts. Some notable things though is with Slobad, it makes our Mightstone and Weakstone like almost a better Mightstone and Weakstone because you get the ETB of like the -5/-5 or draw two cards, and then instead, well, what we can do is we tap it for 2 artifact mana essentially, right? And then sacrifice it for another 5 artifact mana, 5 red artifact mana, and that's 7 mana that we can ramp up and most likely play Portal Phyrexia or full cost Skitterbeam Battalion or Cityscape Leveler. And then another nice thing is Skitterbeam Battalion, if we prototype it in, it creates these several token copies of it. Well, copies of a particular card have the same, or like token copies of a particular card technically have the same mana value as the card that they copy. So our token copies are also worth 5 mana. So we can play like Skitterbeam Battalion out there, attack in with all the 2/2s. One survives, well then we can go ahead and sacrifice that one that remains to generate 5 mana that we can use to spend on another artifact spell. Besides that, we have a lot of other generic things that are good in red. We have Brotherhood's End, a Braid, we got these Circuit Menders, that ETB, and then when they die they draw a card, so they're good sack fodder. The other kind of combo we're shooting for here is Arms Race. We can play it out for 4 mana, and then the next turn we can cheat out a giant artifact for 4 mana, and then at the end of the turn, we'll have to sacrifice it, but we can instead sacrifice it to Slobad to generate a bunch of mana to cast out a really, like a big artifact for real. I don't know if Arms Race is really necessary in this deck, but I thought it was a fun combo. We got some interesting lands that we're playing here in this basically mono red deck. Let's go see how we can do on the ranked ladder. There'll be a full deck tech where we go through like each individual card in detail at the end of the video, so stay around for that if you're interested. Also, if you enjoy arena videos, consider subscribing because we try and make videos every single day. Okay, this hand's okay. We just need to draw a land. Got the Mightstone, Weakstone with Slobad, but we also have the Abrade on turn 2. We're also lucky because we get to go first, which I think will help us here. Hold up this Abrade for whatever fun stuff they play. Okay, they didn't play anything. Interesting. Alright, we'll play out the Circuit Mender. Gain 2 life, draw a card. Or not gain 2 life. But when it dies, we get to draw a card, so... Not even when it dies, when it leaves the battlefield, which is important because sometimes opponents will exile the Circuit Mender. Opponent here is playing Azorius. Well, he's playing Esper, actually. Or they're playing Esper, so I do wonder what they're up to. I think they might be an Esper Reanimator deck, considering they're playing this, which can help you discard cards into your graveyard. Go ahead, swing in. They might just be ramping, though. Play it, get a Triumph in, that's a Xander's Lounge. They're playing multicolor, everything but green so far. Can't blame them, green's a pretty bad color. We'll just play out an Arms Race here. We could play out a Mightstone and Weakstone and draw 2. Let's do that. Opponent, they got a removal spell most likely in hand. Ooh, we got a Skitterbeam Battalion. Can we full cost? No. Not quite. Alright, so next turn we'll be able to play out a full cost Skitterbeam Battalion, swinging for 5. Emperor. No. We're gonna get rid of Slobad. Can we still full cost cast a Skitterbeam Battalion? No, we cannot. Perhaps I could have been smart and actually like read what the opponent had, or like thought about what the opponent had, and just chose not to swing in with this Slobad, but I don't know. Probably attacking with Cruelty of Gix. Okay, that's our game gone. Well, actually, they don't get that much for reanimating those. That's like the one upside. Is they have to be cast to get the 2 additional copies of it. What we can actually do is we can double braid this hizzy and get ourselves in there with our circuit mender. Get out of here. None of that nonsense. Nice thing is Brotherhood's End does hit Planeswalkers, so we do have a little bit of damage on Planeswalkers here with that, but I didn't really want a Brotherhood's End and a Braid or something. Opponent searches up the particular card that they want. They get to Cruelty of Gix away or Skitterbeam Battalion again. They're looking pretty in the shitter, I'm not gonna lie. Monumental Facade, that's not gonna do anything here. Go ahead, swing in. Well, maybe we don't swing in, because they're going to reanimate one of our Skitterbeam Battalions, and we can card draw that way. Oh, I could have played this Arms Race, because it's not really doing anything in our hand. But I don't think it will make a difference. Something is telling me it's not going to make a huge difference. Our opponent, Leyline Bindings are... Keep burning yourself out, opponent. Nice thing, they do only get one Skitterbeam Battalion because you actually have to cast it. Haha. Get wrecked, opponent. We're doing the proper thing instead of cheating it out. Those cards would be a little bit more fun if you could cheat them out and get the value, but I think Skitterbeam would definitely be overpowered then, because the ability to create multiple copies of it. Okay, you're no fun, opponent. Don't play nothing, don't whatever. Oi, oi, oi. We could have honestly tanked the hit, but I'm kind of interested in drawing a card, seeing what we can get here. A land, dope. Alright, we'll go ahead, put out this Arms Race. If we had the Arms Race here, we would have actually had a pretty good we've had a pretty good Portal to Phyrexia cheat out on the opponent's end step. They're just gonna Leyline Bind it. Alright, if we don't top deck something good here, okay, we'll just get it over with and move on. You get to animate one of their Leyline Bindings, swing in. Or actually, they might be able to animate multiple. Yeah, they have enough mana to animate both of them, and they cast them out on our turn, so they would have had lethal. Because they have base power enoughness equal to its mana value. These come in as 7/7s with Hexproof and Death Touch and Lifelink. Yeah. So you're kind of crazy with Leyline Bindings. Well, that makes our win rate negative with this deck. Yeah, I did say this deck is kind of jank. Just trying to see. I wanted to brew a deck that would probably put Slobad in its best position possible, and this is ultimately kind of what I came up with. But it's rough. Slobad ain't so good. It ain't slow good. It's slow bad for a reason. Alright, we need an artifact we can sack to Slobad to ramp into these 2 cards. And we need Slobad to survive. I don't like the fact that I just saw that dropped out from our opponent's hand. Bant is not, or green, blue, or Cynic, and Bant are not colors we're fond of. Yep, because Venerated Rot Priest. I think we do this now, because they don't have any, like, indestructible protect. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. This is the first time I've seen Rot Priest in like 2 days. Okay, well, that's game. Not gonna bother. If Venerated Rot Priest with Gleeful Spell Thief, it's basically over. They get a bunch of targets. If they have any like reasonable hand, they win there. It's definitely not worth the time. Even though it would be probably pretty short. Our death would be probably pretty quick. I am not gonna bother. I actually want to see Slobad show us why he's not so bad. Do love the art for it. The only thing that could make this card better is like if it had haste. Or like I think a thing that would have worked perfectly fine if they gave this card haste. Like it's not even like it's doing anything great. Giving it haste doesn't change that much. It just gives you a 3/3 haster, which ain't bad. That's like a playable card in other regards as well. So like I feel like they could have gotten away with giving it haste. It fits in with like a red Phyrexia or red Goblin as well. The whole red Goblin idea as well. It looks like we're dealing with a what are they called? Ninjas. Ninjas on the play, which is not great for us either. Okay, we need 2 more lands, or like an artifact we can sack to Slobad to get us ourselves our Mightstone and Weakstone, because then we can tap and sack the Mightstone and Weakstone to get out like a portal or a Cityscape Leveler. Nah. Okay, well this hand's trash, and we are trashed. What are you playing? Alright, we really need 5 mana about now. We can play this Mightstone and Weakstone and draw 2. Oh, no, I lied. That would require us to actually find the land. Oi, oi. Opponent's got the Akiba for the little bit of drain. Bran, that's another good one for draining your opponents. I'm gonna go ahead and play this out here. I'm gonna draw cards. Okay, well, there's the lands I was talking about. I'm gonna go no attacks here. We have Portal. Yeah, we have Portal. Or not Portal, sorry, Cityscape Leveler. We get rid of their Varan. Got a 2/3. We do have a 2/3. If we find, actually, we have Cityscape Leveler into Portal Phyrexia the next turn, or Skitterbeam Battalion the next turn. But probably we'll cast Skitterbeam Battalion the next turn. That's a cast trigger, so it still goes off. Bye bye, Gran. Kill our Mender. We get to draw a card. We don't care too much. Grotto, that's not bad. Do you have removal for our Weakstone, Mightstone and Weakstone? Yeah, I think we're gonna cast the Portal out, and then we'll cast Skitterbeam Battalion the next turn. Portal can get us back a Tenacious Underdog, or it can do more fun things. Big Red. Except for without an honorable mention in Big Red. Well, this isn't exactly a Big Red deck. We're built around Slobad, but a really good card for any like Big Red deck is Koth. Blitz it out for your last time, opponent. Going in our hands next game, or next turn. No, do we really need to take it out? I guess we could just reanimate our Cityscape Leveler, which is honestly not so bad. Skitterbeam Battalion. Bang, bang, bang. Ran out of chill spells, didn't ya? Didn't ya? That is kind of the goal, except for with Slobad. We are playing basically red artifacts. That is the idea. We're playing some of the best red artifacts we could. There is like an argument to be made to play like Thran Spider or whatever, which is the one that enters the battlefield and creates a Power Stone. That could work well in this deck. But I opted to put in some Brotherhood and the Abrades and the Arms Race. so we're not just all in artifacts. Mycosynth is one of the fun lands that we have. We can tap or pay X, tap it. It becomes a copy of target non-token artifact you control with mana value X. We are playing we're playing 2 of the forges. What are they called? Do you know, Might? No. I'll keep a land. Land's not bad. We need to hit 5 lands before we're jamming. Cut it down. Draw us a card, not bad. Arms race, not too bad. Don't have a Slobad, unfortunately. They're probably gonna tax our Brotherhood's End, I would think. But who knows? Skitterbeam Battalion is not a bad one to tax. Because then we're never gonna be able to cast it. Unless we get rid of the Anointed Peacekeeper. I mean, Arms Race is a funny card. But it's pretty bad unless you're playing Arms Race in like a kind of scam way, which we did. We do have a video of that on the channel where I made like a Mardu scam in Standard. Ooh, Cityscape Leather is pretty good. I don't mind that. So that's a really decent one to cheat in with the Arms Race. Gives it haste. Yeah, where you cheat in like an artifact creature, and then you can blink it before your end step, and you'll lose that whole sacrifice part at the end step, which is cool. Another thing that you can do is you can blink in a portal on your opponent's end step, and then you'll have it for your upkeep and get to reanimate a creature that way. Those are some tricks with Arms Race. But if you have, like, yeah, you can blink it before you have to sacrifice it, or you can use a Undying Malice type effect, where if it dies, you return it to the battlefield and put a +1 counter on it. Like, there are several cards that do that, so you can also play Arms Race in that way. But yeah, we have a video of that on the channel, so if you're interested in that, check that out. Our opponent here thinking long and hard about what they're going to do with their fancy control cards. Playing every color besides green so far, our opponent. Can't blame them. Green is the worst color in Standard at the moment. Very sad. As a green player myself, I am pretty sad about that. Alright, they make a decision. Tenacious Underdog it is. Denick. Can't be target spells or abilities. Okay, cool. I think we'll go ahead, cheat in a Cityscape Leveler, and call it a day. Call it a day. Yoink. Get out of here, Denick. Bonk. No life being allowed. Bonk. Sacrifice. And then we still have it accessible through Unearth, which isn't the end of the world. Take 6 here. But now they don't have a lifelinker for the time being, which is nice. Opponent here trying to decide whether or not they should have played Rapine before they attacked or after they attacked. I don't know what our opponent's doing. They're taking a while to think, though. So presumably it's a fairly hard decision. We're really looking for some top decks at this point. We can cheat in the Skitterbeam Battalion, but that's pretty terrible. Okay, now that is a card that I do like. We can go ahead and play that out. That will ramp us into Skitterbeam Battalion mana next turn, but what I want to do with it is draw some cards. That seems good. Yeah, next turn we have mana to cast out a Skitterbeam Battalion. We don't have mana to cast out a Skitterbeam Battalion. Okay, we can cast an Abrade and Skitterbeam Battalion for low mana cost. Holo Tagsin, this is a nice land because it can allow us to ramp with our lands. Pay such a mana, and then we'll go ahead. Oh, I guess we could Brotherhood's End, but we can also Braid. Go ahead, Braid. Do you have a fancy protection spell? It's. I feel like it's not too complicated. There's the options for that. Either you counter that or you counter this. And you're probably going to counter this. You know we have it in our hand. Boom. Yep. Counter spell. We get to draw a card. Okay. They don't get to kill us this turn. We do have Brotherhood's End. No, they do get to kill us this turn. Alright, opponent. You found that line. Congrats. That was real tricky, wasn't it? Man, no, I didn't have fun this match. Opponent took forever, no offense, but I feel like it was pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward, their options. Win, win, or win. I don't even think they had real, like, options that result in misplays. I mean, yeah, it was probably reasonable to save the ravine. But, like, I don't know why they paused so long for basically every single play. Alright, let's go ahead and keep this hand. Because it doesn't matter what we keep, because we'll lose anyway. No, I'm joking. This is definitely a jank deck, though. Alright, we're just gonna braid this. We can Brotherhood's End next turn, and a Brotherhood's End the following turn, but we can't afford to get tons of poison counters. Okay, Scroll. Slobad's not too bad. If we're gonna Brotherhood's End, we might regret playing it out, but we're going to have to slow themselves down some, I think. Alright, well, shit. Lesnia Toxic is one of the best decks from Phyrexia will be one. That's a new deck. I think the Mirror Control is like the next best one. The Selesnya Toxic actually has like a 50. How much is the win? The win. I forget. 50. I recall seeing it somewhere. It was like 52, 56. I don't know. It was positive though. Was not negative, unfortunately. Well, top taking a land is not gonna happen. That's unfortunate. I feel like we have a decent curve. Maybe I should look at it again. Should have mulliganed the end. That's the real answer, but I thought the Brotherhood's End would be enough, but when they have like 2/4 toughness creatures, it doesn't matter. Good Brotherhood's End sooner there, but at that point, I think no matter what we top decked, we were out of the game. Okay, what? What is this? What is this disgusting thing I'm looking at? A one lander? Alright, time to top deck 0 lands for the next 5 turns. Oi, oi. Okay, well, we at least got something. Mono red though. Belvin. I mean, realistically, if they had a good curve, or like a super good curve here, they'd kill us before our Brotherhood's end. Because mono red's just that brutal sometimes. Turn 4 kill is not out of the option. It's not impossible. Yeah, I think what we have to do here is Brotherhood's End and then play Circuit Mender next turn. They get to search up a card of their choice though. But we need Circuit Mender out here because their Mishra's Foundry can just start attacking through since we sweepered the board and have no creatures. Will they still get the turn 4 kill? That is the question. Raiju? Oh my god. Mana to play Raiju. I think they just kill us this next turn regardless of what we play. And this is basically the best option we could play. Gain 2 life, but they can crew one of their lands, give it a +1 counter, and then... Or not crew, but animate one of their lands, give it a +1 counter, do 2 damage to the face, do 2 damage with the Mishra's Foundry. And then I guess we block the Raiju, so maybe it's not a win through our Circuit Mender. Wow, we had a sweeper on 3 and we still lose to mono red, yay. Should have been on the play, my bad. I feel like there's not that much for our opponent to play around. Because, like, the only thing else we could have is burn down the house on 5 mana. Or, like, multiple creatures. Oh. Oi, mono red on the play. Alright, we'll play like 2 more games here. See if we can actually get 1 more win. Sorry, this video is probably going to be pretty, well, at least now you don't have to try and build a deck around Slobad to figure out that it's bad. And that it's that bad. It is that bad. Granted, there was like 1 game there that we definitely lost to our own keep. More lands seem nice. Gruul aggro though, we're probably... Nope, it's chaotic transformation. Okay. Kinda worried. Chaotic transformation is rough. Okay. Right, well. Don't really have any good options to get rid of things, but opponent is spooky. Spooky. Not a card that you want to see when the opponent's playing red. Big score. Or, well, that's kind of mean, no? I mean, we blow up your creature, but you're not allowed to do that. We're gonna keep everything else, I think. Yeah. Play out the Microsynth Gardens. And, play this. That way we can play a Circuit Mender and then use it to cast, Are you just a Gruul modified deck? This is not looking like a Gruul modified deck. Opponent doesn't want their Brotherhood to end. Interesting. But if we play out this Circuit Mender, we'll have 5 mana to play out a Skitterbeam Battalion as well. So bad, Slobad. The master of Goblin Artificers. Yeah, we're gonna play a Circuit Mender. Haha! Wrong one, sucker. Wrong one. Because we get to do this. Sack this. Bye bye, Circuit Mender. So long, sucker. Now we can sacrifice Skitterbeam Battalions to feed us enough mana to cast out a portal to Phyrexia. Awesome. So if our opponent gets a chaotic transformation into a portal Phyrexia, we do cry. We do cry. They do have chaotic transformation. They probably have another one in hand, considering they discarded one. I wasn't wrong what their deck was what the goal of their deck was to do. Or what the goal of their deck was. Oh my goodness, English hard. Now that's a nice card. You cast any of these. I think the most important thing that we do here is we go ahead, sack this, play a portal to Phyrexia. Boom, boom, boom. Bye bye, creatures. But at least they don't get a creature here. They do get their own portal, though, here very shortly. Very shortly, they'll get to chaotically transform on their artifact token, or their treasure token, to get their own portal out of their deck. Show us it, opponent. Show us. They'll probably chaotically transform their Bitter Reunion as well into perhaps a better enchantment. No, they do not go for the Bitter Reunion. I don't know why. Oh, you have Flesh Purchasers as well? Interesting. Interesting. I would, I mean, that's a nice card. But, seems like, not what you want to be doing, because then we can, I mean, we get to keep our Slobad and Slobad out a Portal to Phyrexia and reanimate our Skitterbeam Battalion. Yay! I mean, I guess we could cast out one of these, but this is just easier. Yeah, sack that. Cast out another Portal to Phyrexia. This is why we play Skitterbeam Battalion in this deck, because it works so well with the tokens. Let's go. For the next turn we have Easy Lethal. Easy Lethal. Let's go. Opponent here could cast a full cost Flesh Gorger, but we could just Cityscape Leveler with the Flesh Gorger and swing in. Ah, they get their own portal. Nice. Too bad for you, opponent, because we get to reanimate this and a Flesh Gorger? I mean, yeah, Flesh Gorger seems nice. Get the best creatures out of the graveyards, play ourselves a Circuit Mender, and swing in. Fortunately, we do not have a second Skitterbeam Battalion in the graveyard to reanimate, to haste in and kill our opponent. They can pick up our Slobad or our Circuit Mender. Circuit Mender is their best bet. But they don't have enough creatures to the point where Flesh Gorger can actually get blocked at the moment. Capricious Hellraiser, now that's something. Was not expecting that. What do they get? Chaotic Transformation too? Opponent's got quite the jank pile. I don't know if I recommend it, but hoping to hit another portal to Phyrexia here. Will they get it? They do get the portal. Nice. Get to draw a card here. You got another Capricious Hellraiser, which they got another Chaotic Transformation. I don't think you want to transform our portal, I'm just gonna say it. Trying to decide whether or not they want to cast it, I think. Target their Capricious Hellraiser. Okay, they either get another Capricious Hellraiser. Tyrannix Rex, now that is something. Ooh. Oh. I don't know if you really want to swing in with that, but fair enough. Wait, do they have no creatures in their graveyard? They managed to exile all their creatures in their graveyard. A Skitterbeam Battalion, and then Circuit Mender. Okay, we got lethal. Good game. The Forge showing us what it means to do business. Quite the crazy deck our opponent had. They really took us for a ride that last round. And honestly, it turned out to be a much cooler deck than I thought it was originally. I was like, Flesh Gorger? Why do you have a Flesh Gorger if you also have Portal? But I guess it's because they're playing all these really kind of high cost creatures, as well as like Chaotic Transformation. I don't know if I would take out the Flesh Gorgers though. They seem like bad hits. And then they need more draw discards. They can probably like cram in some Fables, as well as um, there's a Dragon War thing that like allows you to discard your entire hand. If you want to fill up your graveyard some for your Capricious Hellraiser, so you have good hits for it. But yeah, definitely a really cool deck from our opponent. Go ahead and play one more round to see if we can crank up our win rate just a bit with Slobad. I can tell you the thumbnail is definitely going to be like so bad question mark, and just with like Slobad as the art. It's an unfortunate naming, Slobad, I'm not gonna lie. Got it okay. Soldiers. Alright, it's time to ask the age-old question. Is Brotherhood's End on 3 good enough? Or is a sweeper on 3 mana good enough to win the game? Or save us from dying on turn 4 or turn 5? We asked that question against, what was the deck they were playing against? Mono Red? I think it was. And the answer was no. It was not. Nowhere close to enough. Now the question is, the best deck in Standard, does it get blown out by a Brotherhood's End on 3? Again, they get to be on the play, which is fun, you know, a little cute. Should have held up the Abrade onto their turn, see if they would play anything out, but if they're real smart and they don't have another pump creature, they would wait until their second main. And we probably want to mitigate as much damage as possible right now, so would have probably still abraded before that. Okay, not bad. Not bad. This is still something I'm probably gonna Brotherhood's End. Alright, sweeper on 3. We get to Slobad into a Mightstone Weakstone, not too bad. Siege Veteran, gross. Very gross. I'm gonna play out the Hall of Tags and doesn't really matter. Can remove a creature here with a -5, -5, or you can draw 2 cards. I think we're gonna draw 2 cards because we need gas. We got lands in hand, right? We got lands in hand. That's no good. No, it depends on if they play something real bomb. Like if they play Harbin, okay, maybe not Harbin, but if they play another Sky Strike officer, that's gotta go. That's just gotta go. Making those hard soldier decisions over there. We're gonna run against another soldiers deck playing a counterspell. I'll be very sad if that's the case as well. They are playing Azoria soldiers, which is really the most common kind of soldiers, but usually they're not playing a counterspell. Yeah, if you get a free swing in there, opponent, all good. All good in the hood. If we draw Skitterbeam Battalion, we can play the Mightstone Weakstone, draw 2 cards, sacrifice it, have 7 artifact mana ready to go to cast out a Skitterbeam Battalion. Let's create a bunch of chump blockers, which would be nice. Alright, we're gonna play this, draw cards. I mean, you can kill a Siege Veteran, but... Do you have a counterspell? Do you have a counterspell? Okay, who introduced these soldier players to fucking counterspells? I'm gonna, like... lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Alright, we're playing another. Soldiers pisses me off enough where I want to play another one. You're not even like high mythic and you're spamming soldiers. Get out of here. You're gonna sweat that much. At least like do it at the top of mythic ladder. Not at like 84%. We lost like how much percentage playing this deck? I think we lost a fair amount. Alright, if we have Slobad into Circuit Mender, if we find one more land here, we can potentially cast a Cityscape Leveler. Opponent playing Abzan. Ooh, I like that. I like it. Respect to our opponent for not spamming soldiers. Yeah, this is, you gain 2 life, look at the top 3 cards of your library, exile one of them face down with a hatchling counter on it, and put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. Glissa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Glissa. I don't like that. I wonder if they're playing, dragons here. Alright, we do have the Cityscape Leveler here. Do they have a sack way to get rid of their Dragon Kami's egg? Much respect to our opponent though for playing Dragon Kami's egg. I do love it. It's a good fun card. It's not that good. It's just too slow, but it's fun. Yep, you can't destroy either thing because the nice thing is Glissa only deals with enchantments. He doesn't deal with artifacts, so. Angel of Wrath kicked. Are you able to kill this? No. You didn't double kick it. Cool. Alright. Ooh. Do we actually want to sacrifice our Skitterbeam Battalion? Or, sorry, our Circuit Mender to get their Glissa here? I mean, the Angel of Wrath is an important one as well. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. We get to draw a card here. See what we draw. We have to choose first anyways. This is annoying. And then if we keep the Slobad around, we can sacrifice the Cityscape Leveler to cast this Portal to Phyrexia, and then Portal Phyrexia can reanimate the Cityscape Leveler. And then we can do that again next turn. We can cast the Portal Phyrexia, sacrificing the Cityscape Leveler again for even more value. But we'll crack their egg is the one problem here. All right. Does their Dragon Kami egg have a Titan of Industry in it? Because if it has a Titan of Industry, we don't attack in. And in that case, we're just gonna go ahead cast this. It does bring me great sadness to do this here, because I would really like to attack in with the Cityscape Leveler first, but the effect is basically the same. We remove both the creatures our opponent has. That's that's gross. That is gross. But hey, we have a pretty cool combo coming up. We're gonna be taking that Atraxa here very soon, opponent. Very soon. Oh shit, do you have artifact removal? No! No, no, no! They have artifact removal! They have artifact removal with Nissa! Don't tell them! Do not tell them! No one tell them, please. Whatever you do, guys, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Do not tell them that Nissa removes artifacts and enchantments. Do not tell them. No one say a thing. Okay? Zip it. Shh. No one. Damn it, they're doing something. You're doing something here, sneaky opponent. I don't like it. They have 7 mana, so they could just play out Nissa, take it up. Don't tell them. Do not tell them. Okay, opponent? Or teammate? Or my team? Ah! Okay. The answer is Slobad so bad? And yes, he's trash. Don't play. Oh my goodness, we lost like 3 or 4%, I think. I don't know. I'll roll it back to the beginning of the video and check it out at some point, but yeah, Slobad is so bad. Do not play him in ranked. But I think this is a pretty fun brew for him. I would say though, like, you could probably full commit to the whole Slobad plan and try and find yourself like 1 and 2 mana artifacts to play out with the, so that you can actually like sacrifice more things. So Furnace Skull Bomb, that's not a bad one because you can also sack it to draw cards. Gold Hound is nice because you can also just add mana with it, but then that kind of defeats the purpose. Experimental Synthesizer would actually work pretty well here, because it helps you exile the top card of your library for some extra card draw. I'm trying to think of any of these other cards that would work well. You want things that have like an ETB effect to some degree. Iron Apprentice wouldn't be terrible, because then you can put the +1 counter on something else. Energy Refractor was one that I considered putting in here, because then you can filter the mana that he has to like play other things. But it's also like a 2 mana draw a card, and then you can sack it later on. So you could potentially put these Energy Refractors in here. Or instead of Energy Refractor, there's also Prophetic Prism, if you can find it. Prophetic Prism, okay, I do have a full playset of the ones from Phyrexia. But these also enter the battlefield, draw you a card, so these wouldn't be terrible. Patchwork Automaton, because we're playing a bunch of artifacts, is also a cast trigger, which is nice. But yeah, going into the cards that we actually chose to play. Playing 3 copies of a Braid here, because, well, removal is kind of king when everybody drops like bombs every single card's so amazing. Removal's gotta be pretty good as well. A Braid, one of the best removal in red, because you can target a creature and they can also destroy artifacts. Helps you get rid of those bank busters, but also 3 damage is pretty good. You could potentially say like Cathartic Pyre is like another good option because it also target planeswalkers. Let me go ahead. 2 mana and red. 2 mana red. Cathartic Pirate. 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, and then you can discard 2 cards and then draw that many cards. This is also a decent red removal card, but we also have Brotherhood's End, which can hit planeswalkers, so. And then we have 4 full playset of Fable the Mirrorbreaker, because, well, Fable the Mirrorbreaker can make basically any red deck better in most circumstances. This helps us filter those cards that are less useful. When we draw a second Slobad, we can discard it, try and draw into a better card. Creates the shaman that can help ramp, and then, like, end of the day, if we have this out here, we can make a copy of our Cityscape Leveler and attack in with 2 of them, or we can copy like one of our Skitterbeam Battalion to just get 1 more attacker going in, which is nice. We got Slobad, the name of the deck. Obviously, if you're going to name your deck Slobad, you probably should include Slobad, the Iron Goblin. Helps us sacrifice artifacts to generate even more mana to play out bigger artifacts. So you got to see it there. That last game, unfortunately, our opponent had a farewell, so we kind of just ate it at that point. But we had a real fun combo there set up where we play Slobad. We used it to cast a Portal to Phyrexia by sacrificing a Cityscape Leveler. And then once the Portal Phyrexia is out there, we can keep reanimating this like Cityscape Leveler or like our Circuit Mender to sacrifice it to Slobad to cast out another big artifact. So that is a cool cycle to get going. Urabrask's Forge here. This is just one of the best cards from Phyrexia, all will be one. Because you just keep, against more controlling decks, if you can get this resolved, it's just damage. Like, it's an endless supply of damage. If their opponent doesn't answer this, this will kill them. So we're playing 2 copies of it because it's an artifact, so we can use our artifact mana sources to go ahead and play out the Urabrask's Forge, and it's just a really good card. And then, talking about good cards, Brotherhood's End is a very nice card, a sweeper that can also hit artifacts, so I guess you can blow up the opponent's like Bankbuster if we don't have any. If we don't have any low-cost artifacts, we can go ahead and use that second mode to try and blow up those Bankbusters and stuff. But yeah, just a really good sweeper. Circuit Mender, very nice. Gains us 2 life, and then we can sacrifice it, and when we sacrifice it, we get to draw a card. So, kind of the bomb when it comes to like Blink or Sack Fodder. Just good value. Arms Race. We got to see this in action, a very small portion. I don't think it helped us win the game. This is probably the card that you most likely could get rid of, but I thought it would be really fun if we could get it out there with Slobad out there, and then we cheat out an artifact like a Portal to Phyrexia, and then we sacrifice that Portal to Phyrexia to Slobad. We already get the value from Portal to Phyrexia or like the Cityscape Leveler, because we can go ahead and attack with them, wait till the end of our turn, sacrifice it, generate 9 or 8 red mana with Slobad, and then use it to cast one of these spells for real. So that's why Arms Race is here. Lets us cheat out those spells, and then maybe, so if we're like stuck on 5, 6 mana and we can't actually cast one of these, we can cheat out one of them to then sack it to then actually cast one of them. That's assuming that we have our Arms Race and Slobad out there and we have multiple of these big spells in hand. So it's really not that great of a plan, but it sounded cool in my head. Then we have 3 Mightstone and Weakstone. This because, well, its ETB is crazy good, and then it helps us ramp into those more expensive artifacts. So works well with like all of these, taking us from 5 mana to 7 mana, so that we only need 2 more lands to actually be able to cast our Skitterbeam Battalions or Portal to Phyrexia, and then we need 1 more land to cast the Cityscape Leveler, which is another amazing card. And then we're playing 3 Cityscape Levelers, because I only have 3 of them, but also because we probably don't want too many big threats in this deck. I honestly think you could probably trim out some of this upper end of the deck and play a bit of a meatier lower end to the deck. So let me know if you guys have any better brews for this deck. I will say that for a lot of my videos, I'm not gonna have like the best brew of it, so there's always room for adjustment and improvement. So do let me know if you guys have any ideas in the comments, and yeah, keep that in mind. But yeah, you can probably trim out some of this higher cost things, like go down to 2 Portal Phyrexia, 2 Skitterbeam Battalions, 1 Cityscape, or sorry, 2 Cityscape Levelers, and then play a bit more meatier of a lower end, like trade out these arms races for not Brotherhood's End. Burn down the house. Which is a sweeper on 5 that does 5 damage to each creature and planeswalker. It helps you hit those planeswalkers, and then like the alternative is not that bad because you can create 3 devils. When they die, it does 1 damage to any target. So it's never really a dead hand. So yeah, you can trim out these more expensive spells, put some burn down the house, maybe trim out your arms races, put some like bank busters in, stuff like that. But yeah. We have then a full playset of Skitterbeam Battalion. I really like Skitterbeam Battalion in this deck though because we can play it on 5 mana, and then we have these 5 mana sack fodder, or like probably 2 or 3 of these 5 mana sack fodders that we can feed into Slobad to cast even these other big artifact spells. Honestly, another thing I guess you could say for this deck is we could use more card draw. So maybe you make it like an Is It brew of this, take out all these artifact or these colorless lands, and go for that. Then we have Portal Phyrexia here. This is nice because it can help reanimate big creatures, and it's probably one of the biggest, baddest artifacts. We really got to play around the artifacts with this deck, and so that's why we're including all these big bombs that are artifacts, because, well, Slobad only generates mana for artifacts, so we really don't want to have like a ton of non-artifacts in this deck. So yeah, these are all our artifacts here. We got quite a few, and yeah. And then in terms of land, we got a bunch of mountains, Sokazon, because, well, why not? And then we got Crystal Grotto. This helps us scry. You can also tap to pay, or pay 1 to generate mana of any color. Very nice. Tagsent. Similarly, you can tap to add 1 mana of any color, but we can also pay 4 to create a Power Stone. So this can help us bridge the gap a bit when we're just trying to get to that extra mana value, or extra like mana source for our 8 and 9 drops here. And then besides that, we have Monumental Facade. This is just to go with the Urabrass Forge because it puts oil counters and then generates these creatures that haste in, right? Beginning of your combat turn, put an oil counter, create an X1 with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on the forge, and then sacrifice that token at the beginning of the next end step. So this allows us to tap it. It enters with 2 oil counters. You can tap it, remove an oil counter, and put it on the forge to get the forge going. And then lastly, we have Mycosynth Gardens. This is a fun card that can copy or create a copy, or not create a copy, become a copy of target artifact you control with mana value equal to X. So you pay X and you create a copy of it. So this works really well with Earthbrass Forge. If we can play a Forge and then pay X to create a copy, or pay 3 mana, make our Mycosynth Gardens into a copy of the Forge, 2 forges going, that's just even better, right? Better than 1, right? So that's why we're playing the Mycosynth Gardens here. So yeah, that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any feedback in terms of the deck, what you thought of it, and hopefully you still found some of the gameplay enjoyable, and it answered your question of, is Slobad that bad? And I think he's maybe not as bad as this deck, but definitely not good. So he is sort of so bad. Anyways, have a nice morning, evening, night, afternoon, whenever and wherever you're watching. Ciao.